Why decorate? Are you someone who believes that interior design and decoration are only for the wealthy? If someone gave you $1,000 free money to spend right now, would you even spend it on furniture or home decor? Hello everyone, I'm Julie, and in today's video, we're talking about how to decorate when you're totally broke. If you're a student who's already taking out loans to pay for school, maybe you're a graduate right in the middle of a transition. If you've just moved in with your partner or a roommate and you can barely cover the cost of rent, let alone furniture or home decor, what do you even do? In today's video, I want to show you the value of interior design and decoration, how being more thoughtful and intentional with the items that you bring inside your home or space can have a positive impact on your life. We'll cover all of the areas to focus on when it comes to interior design and decoration, what to skip entirely, all of my designer secrets, deals and steals when it comes to sourcing and shopping for furniture and home decor. By the end of today's video, I hope you gain a better understanding of the true potential of interior design and all of the ways that you can benefit from it. Thank you to CRAFTSY for sponsoring a portion of today's video, but let's jump right into story time for a little context. I first studied psychology as an undergraduate at UCI, then went on to obtain a bachelor's degree in interior design from the Art Institute. I was 18 years old, fresh out of high school, going to school full-time, working in retail full-time, both at the same time. I spent what little free time I had shopping thrift stores and combing estate sales. I knew from a very early age that identity and self-expression were two grounding principles that would shape my life and ultimately my career. I loved dressing up, putting on my mom's makeup, rummaging her closet to find accessories that might fit me. I remember making these elaborate pretend speeches in my bedroom while accepting awards for best dress. My family used to tell me that I would cry if they didn't take me outside to snap pictures. I remember having a very idyllic childhood growing up, but it didn't always begin that way. We grew up really poor. My parents are Vietnamese immigrants who migrated to the United States in the early 1980s. I remember there were 20 people living in like a tiny little garage. This is like my grandmother's garage. She was the first one here in the States, and she was able to corral everybody over and house them in this little tiny house. I mean, there's like 5 families under one roof. We shared clothes, we shared shoes. I mean, it was crazy, but fun. So chaotic, so much fun. When my parents opened up their first business, you know, we were working out of the garage. Like, we were selling fortune cookies out of the garage. And then we started selling produce and then wholesale. And then their business flourished. They had this wholesale restaurant supply business and they started to do better. As they did better, we moved to a bigger condo and then our first home and then a bigger home. So of course, along the way, there was a lot of family time involved. We worked together as a family. We lived together as a family. So what I saw growing up was that my parents worked really hard. They worked so hard to get us out of poverty and onto a better lifestyle, which I am so grateful for to this day. Growing up poor, you have to get really creative by using what you've got. So one of my greatest strengths, I know this, is that I am super resourceful. When you don't have money or you can't set aside funds to decorate, you've got to work with what you have. We're talking about repurposing hand-me-downs, using what you already have, restyling it, refinishing it. Maybe you have an old brass 80s lamp that doesn't really fit your aesthetic anymore. Using a mixture of just paint and baking soda, you can really create a plaster mix to plaster the outside of the brass and transform it into a whole new lamp. That's what we're talking about. You have to get creative about the things that you already have. What if grandma handed you down her favorite chair? There's sentimental value in that. That's not something that I would get rid of or donate, especially if it's still functional. You could remove the cushions, you could reupholster it, you could paint the frame. I mean, there's just so many ideas and the options are endless. I want you to do this exercise with me. I want you to go through your room or your home and pull out every single item and just leave it there, spread it on the floor, spread it on your dining table. Once you get a good look at the inventory that you already have, you can get a better idea of how you can repurpose it or reuse it in a way that's really fresh and makes sense to you. Now, instead of having to reinvent the wheel, just get creative. Know your inventory and then do your research. When I'm feeling uninspired, I love watching CRAFTSY classes to kick my creativity into high gear. CRAFTSY is an online community and resource where millions of crafters, makers, and DIY enthusiasts come to find inspiration, hone their skills, and learn new ones along the way. CRAFTSY offers more than 2,000 exciting classes in over 20 popular categories like painting, sewing, drawing, photography, gardening, woodworking, and more. Classes are broken down into easy-to-follow lessons and are led by award-winning instructors who share their creative wisdom as they provide step-by-step demonstrations. CRAFTSY has classes to fit any interest and skill level. CRAFTSY's world-class instructors will inspire and encourage you through every step of your creative journey. I just finished watching Let's Make a Quilt with Ashley Huff and Penny Barnes, and I am so inspired. I've always wanted to learn how to make a quilt, especially out of using old fabric remnants. I am still hanging on to my girl's baby clothes, and I don't want to get rid of it, but I can't just keep it in its entirety. I imagine using my girl's baby clothes that I can't bear to part with to create these quilts. You can make a quilt using thrifted fabric and even old raggy t-shirts that have sentimental value. Think about what aligns with your aesthetics and search classes that fit your style. Learn anywhere and watch on your own time with classes that are broken down into short, easy-to-follow lessons. After watching baby photography at home, capturing their first year, I got so many awesome tips on how to prop a newborn, cool posing hacks, and I was able to photograph my daughters with my own gear, saving us thousands without having to go the professional photography route. CRAFTSY is always creating new classes to keep you coming back for more and help you stay inspired. As a member, you'll have access to CRAFTSY's live streaming tutorials where our expert instructors share their tips, answer questions, and engage with CRAFTSY community in real time. The first 1,000 people who use my link will get a full premium membership of CRAFTSY for only $1.49. Click the link in the description box for this super awesome deal. Thank you again to CRAFTSY for sponsoring a portion of this video. Now that you understand that you're only as good as your creative, let's focus on the big picture. If you're decorating and you're totally broke and we're talking about your bedroom, the big picture in the bedroom is all about space planning 101. Is your bed in the command position? If you are a feng shui enthusiast like I am, the command position in feng shui always dictates that the head of your headboard, or where you lay your head down when you sleep, you should always have a full vantage point of who is coming into the door. That does not mean that your bed is located on the wall where the entry door comes at your side. You need full vantage point to see who's coming in and out of the room so that you are in command. Let's say we're decorating the living room. Space planning 101 always dictates that the seating group is in the optimum prime position. What is the optimum prime position of your living room? It's usually dictated around the focal point. Now, the focal point in your living room could be your television, especially if you're using the living room also as a media center or a family room. The focal point could be a really beautiful view that's outside of the windows. Just imagine what you need to focus on in the living room and situate and plan the seating group around the focal point. Next, we have to prioritize storage. We always want a neat, tidy, and a clutter-free space. Storage is always a priority for me because where are you going to put your stuff? How are you going to even begin to design and decorate a space when it's totally cluttered? If you're doing your homework in your room, you have a really messy desk or workstation, I think the first thing to get in order is a place for all of your paperwork. It's as simple as employing a box with a cap on it to put all of your paperwork or your files in. You could also use a neat little movable caddy, maybe something that has casters or wheels so you can kind of move that around from room to room. I love employing the use of vertical height in any type of room for storage. Just think, the taller the storage system, the more that you can stack things and pile it up high. Now that you have the layout out of the way, you understand how the space functions, you have the storage requirements to house all of your personal belongings. Now it's time for the fun part. You get to style the space in a way that really reflects your own personal aesthetic. Making your own artwork, your own bedding, your own quilts is one way to personalize your space. Here are some other low or no cost ideas for you to try. How about DIYing a headboard from padded foam boards and thrifted fabric? Instead of wallpaper, you can paint right over your walls and create a really beautiful mural. You could switch out a light fixture. You could swap out lamps from room to room. When you've set aside some funds and budgeted for some home decor upgrades, here is a list of my favorite furniture and home decor retailers for you to shop from. I think the typical places that most people know to shop is like IKEA, Target, Home Goods, maybe Urban Outfitters if you've kind of fleshed out your aesthetic. I really love what they're doing on the home front. Maybe you have a little bit more of a budget and you can shop at like West Elm or Crate and Barrel, or even better yet, like the luxury outlet retailers. My favorite resources are always secondhand shops. I love thrifting. Clearly, I grew up thrifting. I was not only thrifting for home decor, furniture, fabrics, textiles I could repurpose into other things, but I was also thrifting for apparel. I love Goodwill. I love Salvation Army. I've shopped at these thrift stores for like decades now, so I know that Goodwill actually has a relationship with Target. So if you love Target furniture or Target home decor, there's actually an entire section of brand new donated items from Target that they actually ship to Goodwill regularly. A lot of these items aren't even open. They're fully boxed up. Of course, you could do a little bit of digging, pull the items out of the box, make sure nothing's broken. A lot of times they also have some of these furniture items right on the sales floor. They might have like a little ding on it, a little scratch, maybe it's a little dirty, but this is nothing that a little damp cloth can't wipe off. Salvation Army also has really great deals. They have 50% off on Fridays and some weekends. So sometimes if I'm shopping some of these secondhand stores and I find an item and I think it's like a really good deal, I'll wait until I know that there's like a seasonal sale going on or maybe even a holiday sale. I'll come back and I'll be able to pick up the item for a huge discount. Savers is also one of my favorite secondhand shops. If you bring in a small bag of donated items, usually like apparel or just like unwanted clothes, they will give you a coupon for 25 to 30% off of your next purchase, which I love. I typically always keep a bag of like donated items in the back of my truck because you never know when the inspiration will strike for a thrifted shopping spree. I also really love luxury consignment home shops. There are so many in Southern California that I regularly frequent. I love Just Like a Model in Irvine. Home Consignment Center is just right down the street. I actually did a Google search of home consignment centers and I actually found that they're littered all across California. So I think if you do a really quick Google search of luxury home consignment shops in your area, you're gonna find a ton with amazing deals and steals. Some of my favorite online resources are Craigslist. I mean, that was like maybe like 15, 20 years ago. Now it's all about OfferUp, FB Marketplace. I still use eBay. I don't know if eBay is like an old school thing. Like, do you guys still use eBay? Do you guys use it? Oh, okay. I'm talking to the Gen Zers behind the camera right now, and they don't use eBay at all, but I have sourced so many amazing things from eBay. The thing that I love about eBay is that you can just type in a search term, right? You type in a search term, and a lot of collectors are on eBay. So they sell from like entire sites. They might have like an online boutique. They also might be selling on Etsy as well. Etsy is another online favorite resource of mine, but the thing with Etsy is that sometimes they are expensive. They're kind of right up there with Cherish and First Dibs, which I think is a really great online destination for like vintage and antiques, but that is not something that I would shop at, especially if I'm broke. I actually love that this generation is really, really tech savvy. I did a survey of my team and I asked them, you know, if you're looking for home decor and furniture, where do you shop? And a common answer that I got is that dupes and replicas are not even an issue. If they found like a really beautiful, let's say Eames chair, are they really gonna shell out the thousands of dollars for like an OG Eames chair? I don't think so. But they're perfectly fine looking for a replica or a dupe on Amazon, at a thrift store that kind of looks and feels like the real thing, but it's not, because you are saving on money, but you're not sacrificing your style and personal aesthetic. You always have to practice patience when you're trying to decorate and you're totally broke. This means banking inspiration images as soon as you see them online. You know, back then we used to thumb through design magazines. I would tear these pages out and I would literally shop with these pages in hand. I would go to the thrift store and look for something that was really similar to it. Now we're all shopping with our smartphones in hand. You find an image, take a screenshot, bank it, put it in a folder, and go out there and look for furniture or home decor that kind of aligns with that style. You could also go one step further and use reverse image search apps like Pinterest or even Google to find a replica or a dupe, or even the real thing if you've budgeted for it. Have you guys ever heard of the term fake it till you make it? You know, have you guys ever heard of that term? Fake it? Okay. Fake it till you make it is an aphorism that means to act as if you have confidence, competence, or an optimistic attitude in order to achieve your goals, even if you don't feel like you have those qualities quite yet. For example, when I used to do a lot of on-camera design work for design shows on television, I used to get like pre-show jitters. I have this ritual where I would do like a lot of exercises like mouth and body exercises to prepare me for that shoot. I would start with like 10 jumping jacks. I would do these like vocal exercises with my mouth so that I don't stutter or I could like enunciate clearly. And so that was a kind of ritual that gave me the confidence to walk on set and just like kill it like a boss. The director yells cut, the crowd goes wild, and nobody has any idea that I was like a nervous wreck right before that segment. Kind of like how Beyonce still channels herself into Sasha Fierce. I mean, she made up this character. She has totally made it. There's no question about that, but she is still faking herself into this character. Do you see where I'm going with this? The idea is that by pretending to have these qualities, you can eventually develop them for real. Now, what does this have to do with design and decoration? If you cannot afford to go out there and buy the real thing right now, you can either fake it with a quality dupe, or to take the aphorism quite literally, you can just make it yourself. I want to end with this last segment of the importance of decorating. Why do we even decorate? People decorate for many, many reasons. The first being the most basic, the practical reasons, and then it dives into the psychological reasons, and then the social benefits of decorating for yourself yourself and your environment. Let's talk about all of the practical reasons of why people decorate. Decorating can make your home more comfortable, beautiful, and easy to live in. For example, blackout curtains can help you improve sleep. Scented candles can help you feel more relaxed and inspired by your environment. Practical reasons can be a place to sit in the living room, a table to sit at the dining room, a comfortable bed to sleep in. Of course, those are very basic and the most practical reasons of why people decorate. Now let's move on to the psychological reasons, which is my favorite aspect. Decorating can boost your mood and well-being and create a more pleasant atmosphere. Decorating can also be very nostalgic and sentimental. It can trigger positive memories and emotions. It can promote joy and help you follow your bliss. Decorating makes people feel happy, safe, and secure, which can also improve sleep and help you with your mental health and wellness. Decorating can promote social activity, especially if you entertain a whole lot like we do, which has mental and emotional benefits. It can also create a great sense of community and make people feel more together. If you're decorating a community center or an event, that can bring people together. It makes people feel more significant and part of something larger than themselves. You could also be decorating to share more of yourself and express your identity, who you are, where you've been, and where you hope to go. Your interior space, your home, or even your single bedroom can broadcast information about your identity, values, goals, and preferences. Remember that you don't have to be rich to decorate. Like, remove that limiting belief out of your head right now. I come from an abundance mindset. For me, there are unlimited resources out there in the world. That means that I believe there are plenty of resources out there for everyone, no matter how much or how little you have. On the flip side, a scarcity mindset is when you believe that there are limited resources out there. That kind of means that when you see somebody have something, like, do you think, oh my gosh, because they have it, I can't get that myself? That is a scarcity mindset. So you either come from an abundant mindset or like a lack or scarcity mindset. When you see a beautiful house, either online or on YouTube, or like you stepped at your friend's house, do you think, gosh, one day I'll have that? Or do you think, oh my gosh, I would never have that? So if you think, oh my gosh, one day, that comes from an abundant mindset. It's like a positive mindset. But if you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna have that, that's a limiting belief. The universe is gonna deliver that right to you. If you feel as though you can't have something, guess what? You're right. If you feel as though you don't have any money to decorate, you gotta think again. You gotta get creative. Check out CRAFTSY, who's the sponsor of today's video, for some amazing creative ideas. The possibilities are endless out there. So my goal is to help you adopt a healthier, more positive, abundant mindset versus a scarcity lack one. That's it for today's video, everyone. I hope you got some really great ideas on how to decorate when you're totally broke. Trust me, I've been there. I'm on the other side now. I'm getting really creative with all of my inventory, all of the resources that I have available to me right now. If you like this type of content and you want more videos just like this, please give this video a like and a thumbs up. Comment below and let me know, what is the one thing that you could do today that will up your decorating game. Share this video with anyone you know who loves interior design as much as we do, and make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Click that little notification bell to be notified of new videos that we drop on the channel every single Thursday. If you love this type of content, definitely check out this video that I'm going to link for you right here. It's all about budget bedroom ideas, especially for all of you budget conscious decorators out there. I have so many great tips and tricks. That's a great follow-up to this video, so definitely check that out. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you next week.